Hey there! Did you know we have a Patreon? You can get early access to all of our content with any amount pledge. Consider it and spread the word. Now on to the show. Spoiler warning. This podcast will spoil elements from both the gameplay and story for The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Hello there, guys, and welcome to another episode of Why We Love, a podcast where we pick a game and we just geek out about it. We celebrate what it was or what it meant for us at the time or even now. Today we're going to be talking about, as the title implies, right, Wind Waker, Zelda Wind Waker, of course. We may have three guests who are just fans of the franchise and probably up for this game in particular. They are Amarylis, Efraín, and Milton. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
And yeah, let's just get into it. Again, Zelda is like one of those franchises you know, it's like Mario in that sense. You basically, it's synonymous with gaming. And of course, this is not the first one or anything. Of course, it's one of those that came like in, maybe you could say, maybe in the middle, right? Because it's not like there have been many more after Wind Waker, right? As of the gallery of games from the franchise. But even so, I have to admit that this was actually the first Zelda game that I ever completed. I played the other ones. I actually got into Twilight Princess. Okay, no, I'm not being completely honest here. Like my first Zelda game was actually Link's Awakening. I remember it fondly because I never owned a Game Boy when I was young. So somebody lent me their Game Boy for like a week, and it had Link's Awakening on it. So I started playing it, and I really loved the whole idea of Zelda from that. I never played Ocarina of Time, so that's kind of like like a no-no or a big. I think that's probably people are gonna say like what. But yeah, like I never played those. The next Zelda game that I played was Twilight Princess, and I couldn't really get into it that much. Eventually, if we talk about the game, I'm gonna talk about a little bit more about that. It's not that it was a bad game; it's just that I didn't feel compelled to finish it. But for some reason, the first one that clicked for me was Wind Waker, and I played it afterwards in the Wii U because they kind of re-released it or something like a remastered version, and my girlfriend was basically. She loves that game, so she told me that we could play it again. I had never played it, of course. I went into it not expecting to really finish it or anything because I wasn't. Again, my experience with Zelda was always to start the game, but never actually, finish the game completely. And my God, like when I went into the world of Wind Waker, for some reason, just the aspect of kind of exploring the sea and getting to the different islands and getting to know or finding different things along the way, and they all had like different I don't know, like you could explore and find different things inside them or stuff that added to the game, like mini games or even just like some like treasures or stuff like that you could get. Was really compelling, and it was the first. Will always remember it fondly because it was the first Zelda game that I completed from start to finish. And there's other things that I'm going to mention about the game that I really loved. But before I continue, right, with my experience, how do you guys, what was your experience when you were first introduced maybe into Wind Waker? Or, I mean, of course that was a long time ago, but if you don't remember that, then at least let me know, like, what was your expectations coming into it? And yeah, what was your experience with it? In general. Milton, I'm gonna start with you.
So actually, my story with Wind Waker is pretty. I think it's pretty. It's the same as a lot of other Zelda fans in the sense that when Wind Waker came out, Zelda fans were really expecting something more akin to Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
So I remember watching that E3 at home, and the disappointment I had when I saw the graphics.
Wow.
I was sorely disappointed. Like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
And I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. Eventually, I remember I got a GameCube and I started playing it. Man, I was really wrong about that game. I guess as you mature, you start seeing, especially in our culture where everything's dark and gritty, and you expect things to evolve sort of in that way. So that was very striking when obviously they showed this really cartoony Zelda game.
Yeah.
I was very glad to say that Wind Waker is one of my top 3 favorite Zelda games.
Okay.
And no, it's an amazing game. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that because I remember at least hearing about the fact that people were disappointed about the art style. And again, as you were saying, like coming off from Twilight Princess, it was so different.
Actually, it's funny because Twilight Princess is actually my favorite Zelda.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I love it. I love sad stories and but man, I mean, I played Wind Waker, of course, before Twilight Princess. I don't know. It's just a game that you get to love. It's just the world, the vibe, the vibrant colors, everything. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So, Amarylis, what was your experience?
So, unlike Milton and probably like 60% of the Zelda fan base, I actually freaking loved it from just seeing the trailers and everything.
Okay.
I love the art style. I am really fond of colorful looking games and art style. I really liked how they did the cell shaded effect on this game. I know they've done cell shaded games before in the industry, but there was something magical about Wind Waker when it came out. It just, I don't know, it just radiated. And it was, to me, it was an instant magnet. And playing it then for the first time, it was super magical. I loved the music. I loved the use of the ocarina in the game. I liked the exploration. I liked how just the materials and everything in the game, how they looked and behaved and moved. The sound effects, the little particles, smoke when you hit something or fire. Everything looked so pretty. It was... it's timeless, really, because they've kept re-releasing the game on the other Nintendo consoles, and it doesn't age. It looks equally as magical as the first time around. And of course, it has one of my favorite Zelda mascots of all time, which are the little Makars.
So, I agree with that.
I mean, they look so adorable. And of course, I really, really like my favorite design for Ganondorf is also in this game.
Okay, that's interesting.
And I don't know, it's just everything about the game was so fun and so appealing to the eye. That I really, really, really enjoyed it, and it's also within my top 3 favorite Zelda games.
It's interesting that you mentioned the graphics and all that, because Zelda Wind Waker usually comes up when people have discussions about aesthetics versus graphics, or really you don't necessarily need to have real like almost lifelike graphics. What you need is a really good aesthetic, right? And usually Wind Waker is like one of those games that is mentioned when people make that argument. And I do believe that's true. I do believe that aesthetics do trump any type of like amazing graphic quality. Because the game usually, again, it just transports you to another world, and I believe that aesthetics can do that perfectly. And there are many games that are not like super amazing graphically when you compare them with like a God of War or something like that. I'm not saying that those games are not good. They have their own aesthetic, of course. But there are games that usually kind of go towards the like trying to be like super powerfully, or like you see everything and you see the sweat in people or stuff like that. And that's not necessarily bad, but usually I prefer the games that have a specific aesthetic and they stick to it. And in the case of Wind Waker, as you were saying, it does kind of transcend time in that sense, because that kind of art style is kind of is very difficult for it to look aged in many ways. Like I do remember that many people were comparing Twilight Princess, right? Just taking that game as a sample, right? Like how it looked at the time and how it looks now, and it does look very dated, you know. Like they could potentially make I don't know if have they made a remaster of that game, Milton?
Yeah.
Well, like a true remaster of the game.
Well, not fully remastered. The closest thing they got, I think, was on the Wii U.
Okay.
When that they re-released it on the Wii U with some changes and a new dungeon and the Midna and Wolflink amiibo.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, I think that when people were comparing like the game to now, it did look very dated, so it did need a remaster. But when they did like the Wind Waker remaster, again, it looks better because, of course, there's stuff that you can make better. But essentially, it was the same game. It was kind of the same thing. So it goes to show, right, how when you go to a specific aesthetic that you know can work for your game, it might have a lot of advantages that maybe other games don't have as much. But yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that. We're gonna talk more about the characters eventually. But Efraín, what was your experience?
It's pretty interesting to hear fans of this series talking about the game. Yeah. Me personally, I didn't have a lot of experience. More like you, Gabe, because sure, I had cousins that had the Nintendo games and all that, but I wasn't too. It didn't appeal to me. Like I was like, it's not for me. Yeah. But I remember when the GameCube, in the age where the GameCube was the hot thing, I had friends that actually had the game, and it was like, you know what, I wouldn't mind. I never played it on that time. Yeah. But I just love to watch my friends actually playing the game, because it's for me it was like, man, this is just a cartoon. This is some Saturday morning cartoon that I'm just watching right now, and it was a lot of fun. So when they released it on the Wii U, that was an opportunity for me to actually go and play the game. And man, just gorgeous. For my first. I'm so glad that this was my first official Zelda game, because it's just love the open world, just trying to complete map. The character designs, each one of them looks so unique and so, I don't know, like you can see they had a lot of personality, and it's like the same with Ama. I mean, damn, Ganondorf looks amazing. Like like every that time that you fight him, like, man, that's awesome. It's just a great battle, and this the plot with the twist with Tetra and all that. It's really fun. Yeah. It's really cool.
No, and usually these like Zelda games have very like lively characters. Like you usually remember many of them because they really have fun making them. Like you can see that they love doing or creating these characters. So yeah, this game had a lot of those, and yeah, the Tetra thing is also really interesting. But yeah, again, this game definitely at least took me by surprise. I didn't know what to expect when I was going into it. I don't mind those type of graphics that much. So when I went into it, I didn't really mind the graphics as much. But when I didn't really know what to make of it, because I understood that there was some kind of sea exploration aspect to it. But I didn't understand exactly how much, like how much you actually control that aspect, or if it was a little more like railroaded, in the sense that they kind of told you, or you just kind of said go here and it just kind of went there. So when I started playing the game, and I was literally in control of getting to place from place by going in the boat and traveling, and then with the ocarina controlling the weather, and helping get to a specific point faster and stuff like that. Like that was amazing. That was when I was like, oh my god, like this is. I mentioned ocarina, but it's not the ocarina. It has the wand thing,
baton.
right?
The wand, yeah.
Yeah, wand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the one. Sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it had the wand, and it was really interesting learning the different, I don't know what the name would be specifically, but
The songs, or
I guess you could say songs, but it's like the movements, right? Like the different movements that you have to do to kind of conjure a specific. When I learned that you could just change night to day with the wand, I think it kind of blew my mind. At that point, I was like, "Oh my god! Like this is amazing."
Oh man, you have to play ocarina too.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely. But that's the interesting thing that for me, this has been my first experience, truly, with the game. And at least I don't remember that you had that much control in Twilight Princess. But anyway, that's just right from my perspective, or what I saw. But anyway, when I went into into Wind Waker, like I literally felt like I had a lot of stuff to play with,
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the thing that I love from that game is the stuff that is kind of also in, for example, in Breath of the Wild and stuff like that they kind of give you a lot of stuff to play with, and you just can't do it basically from the very beginning, at least in that sense. But anyway, of course, in Wind Waker you kind of discover it as you go. You get more powers as you go. But yeah, it was super interesting. I really loved many of the scenarios that the game put you through. With the Tetra thing, it was really interesting because, of course, it was kind of obvious, at least for me. Or maybe I was spoiled. I don't remember right now. But I kind of understood that Tetra was Zelda, spoilers or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, like I knew that, so it took me by surprise, but I did like Tetra as a character. I liked that she was different, that she wasn't the same princess, regal type character that was accustomed to in the other games. So it was really interesting to see that character behave and be part of the story. And as well as you were mentioning Makar, I love that. I love that character, and the fact that you can that he actually is useful, or at least you can use him or it, I guess, in one of the dungeons, as well as the other. I forget her name. What was her name? Yeah, you know who I mean.
Bird Lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting that you had to use them, or basically they were part of the puzzle, to solve the different dungeons. Like I hadn't seen that before, at least in the other Zeldas that I had played. So again, it just put me in certain scenarios that I really, really love that we always remember in that sense. But I do have to say, and from this, I do want to kind of ask you guys to let me know what was your favorite character and favorite moment. Doesn't have to be with the same character, you know. But for example, my favorite character is Makar. I just love that little guy. And apart from that character, there was a moment in the game where, apart from learning the movements of the one and basically having more control over the weather and like the world in that sense, there was a moment that I didn't know anything about. Like nobody had told me, and it was amazing. And we were kind of traveling or trying to get some place in the night, right? While sailing through the water, and then like lightning struck, and I just heard a lot of lightning striking everywhere, and suddenly I see this ghost ship, and I didn't have any idea that was even a thing that happened in the game. And I think my girlfriend, she didn't even remember that or something from her previous playthrough. So we were both like, what the hell is this? And again, just the idea that could happen, and it was kind of random at first because I didn't know how to summon it. It just kind of happened. It was just, again, it also blew my mind. I will always remember that part of it. That is not necessarily even part of the main storyline, but it just that chance encounter with it. Again, it just made me understand like so many things could happen in this game. I just need to explore everywhere and everything, you know. And I just that image of the ghost ship appearing and basically me going like, how can I get to it? How can I interact with it? What can I do? And there was nothing I could do at that point. But it was really, again, it just blew my mind at that point.
I think there were some subtle hints in the photograph. The guy who gives you the photo, the camera.
Yeah.
I think he has a photograph of the ghost ship.
Yeah,
it says something. I don't remember quite what, but I remember I saw it there for the first time.
Yeah, I don't remember specifically, how to get, but I remember that I just got it by pure chance. You know, I wasn't looking for it. It just happened, and I was like, again, mind blown by the fact that there's even like very mysterious stuff that I could also check out that isn't that, at least I don't remember it being part of the main game. It was kind of like a optional stuff, right?
Yeah,
that you could do. But it just made the world seem that much, I don't know, real, you know, in some way. And again, I will always love that. And of course, there's many other things, as you were saying, Ganondorf and all that stuff. But that particular moment is the one that I will always remember because it kind of made me understand that this game, it made me just put the game above others, you know, because it just made it seem like something that I really wanted to explore. And it changed my perspective on the game. But like, what was your favorite character moment? I'm gonna start with you, Efraín, because you were last in the last question.
Well, I got two. The first one that I got that at least I loved seeing was the first time that you go to the Hyrule Castle. It's like time. If I'm not mistaken, like time stopped over there. Like it wasn't. It felt majestic and it felt so pretty, but something like it gave you that feeling that something was wrong in the story.
Yeah.
It's funny to again. This was my first Zelda, so I didn't knew this about the hero of time and you know, all these cliches that every game, not cliche, but this lore that every game kind of crosses over.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, oh, well, Tetra is a princess now. Okay, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah,
wait a minute, my boat is a king? What? And it was like, okay, this is pretty. I mean, the story is really simple. It's good versus evil. Yeah. Again, it's very Saturday morning cartoon, and I just absorbed it. I just loved it. And and the second most satisfying moment was killing Bird. Because, man, screw Bird, man. Like that huge bird, it kidnaps your sister.
Yeah.
It, man, like, come on, man, like, no, screw bird. But my favorite characters is my favorite character is a beetle.
Okay.
Thank you. It's just every time, like, man, he's so great. Like, man, every time that I finish shopping and hear him just saying thank you, it's like, man, you're so cool. Like, he's just traveling and selling stuff, and he doesn't do anything else. And it's like, you know what, man, he's living the life. He doesn't do much. He's cool. He's cool.
Beetle for Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah,
I know that's what you're saying.
For sure. Savage.
Smash.
Yeah, for Smash as well. Yeah. Again, I agree with that. It was, again, as you were saying. I didn't mind the whole. Of course, I knew a little bit more, I guess, than you about like the Zelda lore. So I guess I wasn't that lost, I guess. But again, I think that for these games, the fact that the story is not necessarily that complex is always a good thing. Or at least, for example, for that game in particular, because what you really do is explore, right? It's just the idea of getting to know the world and understanding how to progress further by discovering new places and getting like basically acting as a pirate of sorts in a way, by getting treasures and all that.
And it's also pretty accessible for newcomers.
Yeah,
that's something that I really enjoyed, because I saw, I think before that I saw Emma watching. I saw her playing Twilight Princess. I didn't play it, but I just saw her just going through the playthrough, and I was like, okay, that's cool. It's pretty dark. That's fine. I'm cool. But I don't know. It's just just how bright. Like we have Breath of the Wild. We haven't played it yet, and it's because
shame on me. I know.
Yes, I'm waiting because I got it. I got she bought it, but I got her the Switch.
Okay. Little side story to that. This is important. So when the Switch came out and they announced Breath of the Wild, I scavenged to get the collector's edition.
Okay.
Sadly, I couldn't afford the biggest one with the sword and everything, but I scavenged for the other one.
Okay.
And I bought Breath of the Wild, and I didn't get a Switch till this Christmas.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I've been with Breath of the Wild in the box for over a year.
Oh wow.
Okay. Then I'm not gonna mention that much about Breath of the Wild then, so it's not a spoiler.
No, please.
But yeah, you should play it. Definitely, you should play it.
Yeah, and again, it's just how bright the world is, and like you say, just the secret stuff. Also, by talking to the NPCs, they give you hints of different stuff that happens in the world.
Yeah.
And just gives it more flavor to it, and just incentivize the player to actually go and speak with the NPCs. They're not just there waiting. Like they have something to say, which is pretty cool.
And I do believe that they also have kind of like if you go at night, they're sleeping or something. And I don't remember that much, but I know that they had like their own behavior in that sense. And I know that's not a first for Wind Waker, but it was just interesting that he had it. But again, you guys are gonna probably love Breath of the Wild when you play it. So, but yeah, again, same question, Milton. Like favorite character and favorite moment.
Man, there are so many oddballs in that game that it's really hard to really like say one.
Yeah.
In specific, I guess I'd say I really enjoyed the dungeons in Dragon Roost Island
Okay.
with I think her name was Medley.
Yes, Medley. Yeah.
I really liked her. I don't know. I enjoyed her conversations. I don't know. It was all very bright and colorful and bliss. I guess I really enjoyed the Link's grandma as well.
Yeah, true that.
I don't know why the first time you go back, what was the name of the island where you started?
Outset Island, I believe, literally.
Yeah, Outset Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time, the first time you go back and you go and speak to her, and I don't know, it just warmed my heart. It was a very nice moment in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every single character really has their own charm. I don't know if you remember. I always remember the lone disco guy. I forget the name of the islands. But there's a guy dressed in a disco outfit dancing around.
It kind of rings a bell, but yeah, I don't remember specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they all have like very simple personalities, but they're very accentuated.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that about this game.
Okay. Is there any moment particularly that you love from it?
I guess I'd say the same as Efraín. The moment you go down back to Hyrule Castle.
Okay.
Yeah, that was super cool. And walking around in the fields and stuff. That's cool.
It's interesting because we keep mentioning that the game is really bright and colorful and all that, but to be fair, like if you understand the story, right? Like the story is about like this catastrophe that happened in Hyrule, and everybody's kind of dead, but you're kind of like trying to survive. Basically, it's like a war world in a way for Zelda. So.
Mystery, so colorful.
Exactly. But yeah, Amarylis, like same question.
Okay, well, crap, this is really hard.
I mean, you can have many. You don't have to say just one favorite character, or favorite moment in essence.
It's just that I really, really like the Makars, and I really like Ganondorf. I think that of all the Ganondorfs, this was the one with the most personality.
Okay.
Not only because of the way he was designed, but the way he acts and behaves. It's a bit different from the other games where he's a bit more stoic and serious and he just oozes evil without having to say anything.
Okay.
Well, here he was so cool. He would laugh and everything, like maniacal laugh on your face, make fun of you. And it was just really interesting to see. And the little Makars, well, there's no way I can hate them or even dislike them. They're too adorable. I love the little bells sounds whenever they're around.
Again, you're gonna love Breath of the Wild. I just
Shush!
I'm sorry.
I know they're there. It was spoiled for me, okay? But like, yeah, I like where the forest, the place where they are at, like with their giant tree and everything.
Yeah.
I like their home, how it looks. I've always liked when they make stages on video games that are like inside magical woods with bright trees and nice little glowy particles around and everything.
Yeah.
It just makes everything kind of magical, and I really like that. And Wind Waker not only did have that, but it also had a beautiful ocean to explore.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I think that up to Wind Waker, there weren't that many games that really gave you an open sea as a place to explore.
Yeah, I wouldn't know
properly.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to have an ocean to explore instead of just like land.
Yeah.
Because the closest thing I think on like other RPGs and stuff was like maybe a little chunk of like a lake or tiny bit of ocean that you would explore, and maybe there were random battles or one treasure here. It was pretty obvious. It didn't feel like this is actually a world with ocean that you can actually explore. And the water, it just looked so beautiful. It was soothing.
They did a really good job with that. Yeah, definitely.
Fun fact. The fun fact, the reason why in the original game it took so long to navigate the waters was because of a hardware limitation with the GameCube.
Okay.
So they put the islands very far away so that they had time to load in and not look funky.
Oh yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah. No, but I agree with you that it did feel like you were actually exploring. You know, that you were actually exploring through the water. And usually in previous games, or not in previous games of the franchise, but in games in general, to that point, or maybe even a little bit some years before, water usually meant death for characters because they couldn't they didn't really want to explore that, or really didn't want to give that ability, you know, to the characters. Like Sonic, for example, Sonic always dies in water. And stuff like that.
I think also too in general, it may have been just because it may have been a bit too hard to do in those times and before then in video games.
I think it's too hard, and also that it might not have looked as that good, you know, because they didn't have the capability to actually make water look super good, you know. Like before, it was basically textures and kind of like playing with your mind so that you thought there was water there, but there wasn't. You know, like they couldn't really make it behave the way like water actually behaves. So it might have been also a thing with the hardware where they just couldn't. It just wouldn't look good. So making a game about water, it was always kind of like, I don't know if that's like the best idea.
Maybe
you know,
on the next console. Maybe on the next.
Exactly. Yeah.
But regarding moments, I don't really have a specific moment that I can put above another.
Okay.
Because to me, just playing the game in itself was the moment.
Okay.
Because it was very different to the other previous Zelda games that I have played, and also different than other video games I have played in general. It was really breathtaking. And just exploring new things, like you would do this mission, you would start out, and then this other thing came up, and something new came up, and then they give you the boat, and it was like, oh my gosh, I can do so many things, and everything looks so pretty.
Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite moment within the game, just the game in general.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned that because, again, this is the first Zelda game that I played to completion, and I actually completed 100% as well. I love that world so much that I really wanted to
explore every nook and cranny.
Yeah, everything. And
all of it.
I remember that when they gave you I don't know if this was in the first version, but when they give you the camera and you had to basically take a picture of every single enemy. I don't know if that's in the remaster or something only, but basically you have to take a picture of every single enemy in the game. And I know that's something that happens in other ones as well. But in that one, you had to do that to get 100%. And I did it. I say I, but it was actually like me playing, with my girlfriend. We were both playing the game. So we both took turns to make that happen. But again, I just love that world so much, and I love the idea of what was happening there. That usually I kind of I usually like to complete the games. I don't like to let a game kind of go without being completed. But I don't usually go to the 100%. But with this one, I just had to, because I just really love the idea of getting everywhere, getting to every island, discovering every single secret, and just doing everything that I could. And yeah, it's one of those games that I remember fondly because of even that, the fact that I was able to complete it to 100%, and I was so glad that I had the opportunity to do that, and I was able to experience that, So again, it's just, I don't know. Again, I don't know exactly why. I know that it just was really cool. I really wanted to see what else happened, and it was of course a little bit bittersweet because then there was nothing left to explore, in a way. But again, it did prompt me to really, go for getting everything, and that's not something that happens usually with every game that I play. So I think it's exceptional in that way, in that sense. I don't know if did you guys try to complete it like just 100% as well? Did you do it as well?
I mean, I tried. I guess the only thing I think I never really completed was searching for the Amarylis. What was the name of the little creatures, the ones you like?
Makar?
Yeah, the Makar. Like, I think I never really found them all, or I never delivered the water or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I never did that. So, those kinds of quests usually don't really appeal to me, but every other thing that was about discovery, searching for treasure chests on every single square of the map, like just seeing everything, talking to everyone, doing every single quest. Yeah, I mean, I 98% completed.
Okay. Yeah. Did you guys complete it, like Amarylis and Efraín?
Oh man, this is the first time that I heard, at least that I remember, about the photograph. I know that I didn't photograph any of my enemies. I was like, no, you have to die. And there's no. This isn't a date. But you're gonna die.
Usually for me it was kind of like, okay, so pose a little bit, okay, here's the picture, and then now you die.
so pretty much you were just waiting that spot, like, okay, no, damn it, you hit me again. Okay, well, I don't care if you have to hit me again. I'm gonna take this photograph.
And it will be perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that I think I completed the Elder Tree quest about the Makars, I think.
Jesus Christ.
Is that their name? I think that they have another name per se.
I don't remember.
I just love calling them Makars because Makar is the best ever.
I mean, that's the archetype, I guess. That's how you can call it.
Yeah.
They're all Makars to me.
Korax?
Yeah, Korax. Thank you. That is the actual name. Yeah.
I think Makar is the one you.
Just the one with the violin and yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, again, we're gonna keep calling them probably either Makars or Korax in this podcast. So yeah.
Yeah, please forgive us. We like calling them Makars.
Okay. So you did a lot of the stuff as well then. Yeah.
So I have a question. Which temple did you guys had the most trouble with?
Water.
I mean, usually the easy answer is water for these kind of things. I don't actually remember having a lot of trouble with a specific one.
I guess in my case, I remember right when I first played the game when I was little, I had a lot of issues trying to get past the first time you go to the fortress.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't know where I was going. I had no clue.
Yeah. I agree with that. Is that considered like that's not a temple per se, but it is kind of like a. I mean, would you consider it a temple?
Yeah, I think so, because you unlock doors and you have to find out how to get to the boss. And
Yeah. True that. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Then that one. Yeah, definitely that one. Like, because you do that pretty like
Early, yeah.
early. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I mean, it was that one for sure, but the one that you're in a forest, like you have to like go up, like there's some. You need to use like a leaf to pick up the wing and go to another place. What was that one?
I do remember that for example, in the one with Makar and the one with Medley, those there also was this thing of where do you leave them, you know, and where like you had to also understand the puzzle not only for yourself, but the fact that you could only get to specific places with them, right?
Yeah.
So I maybe those were also kind of difficult because you had to think for maybe like more things than usual. So maybe those. But again, it was just interesting to have that other character, you know, also there. So I think I didn't mind it that much.
Anyway. I love it.
So I think again this is basically most of what the game is, and again, if you have not played the game or don't remember it that much, I myself I'm kind of sad I remember as much as I thought I would remember by talking about it right now. So I might just play it again. It's just a really good excuse to do that.
I think there's another difficulty mode. I think after you pass it.
Oh really? I don't know if I actually did that, so maybe I didn't complete it 100% after all. So yeah,
plot twist.
Yeah. So I have to check that out. But before we go, like I do want. Yeah. To be fair, like I do want to mention and Milton, I want to talk to you about this in particular because I do know that or well, I mean I do know now, but I know that this game fits into the franchise lore in a very weird way, in the sense that it's not. This Link is, of course. I mean, every Link is like a different, iteration of.
Yeah, different.
Yeah, but in this game, they kind of make it. They kind of talk about the fact that this particular Link is very different, or not necessarily different, but he's kind of like. Not maybe from the same, I wouldn't say heritage because they're not. I mean, yeah, they haven't really explained that much, right? Like, H-Link is not like the grandson of another Link, right?
No, they never really are.
Yeah,
I mean, they just sort of just have the hero's power.
Yeah, exactly. But I do remember that in this game, like they kind of make it a thing where they literally say like there being many iterations of Link, and you're just the next one, basically, and that's kind of like why your character in particular kind of becomes the hero of time in that sense. Because I remember there's like a fish or something, or like a big fish or something that kind of tells you that. But you being a very like Zelda fan, like you know all the things, and I know that you like the lore in particular. Like you do like the games that have more story with them. How did this game feel? You know, in that sense, like how did you see? Well, I mean, I guess you could say what you feel now, right? But in terms of the lore and how it fits into the overall story of the franchise, like do you like how it fits? Do you like what it says, or is it interesting, you know, in that sense to you?
I mean, I think it's a very odd piece of the timeline.
Okay.
So Wind Waker is supposed to be after Ocarina of Time on the adult Link timeline, I think.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah, so it's I don't remember why Hyrule was flooded. You know, you just have to roll with it.
You just gotta take it for what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something flood, something. Link fights the Lord of Darkness.
Yeah.
No, but it's great, and again, one of the most, I think one of the coolest moments was when you went back down and you found that Hyrule was beneath the water.
Yeah.
And all that linking back to Ocarina of Time and everything. I don't know.
No, yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Like Zelda games are very loosely linked.
Exactly.
That's why they got away with making real time, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I know the things are there. But I think one of the best things that happen in Zelda is that even the characters in the world don't really know the stories 100%.
Yeah.
So that's why they keep passing them as legends and stuff.
Well, they don't have the internet, so
yeah.
Of course, I think it's isolated.
Link is literally the link between them. Yeah. So that was the idea. Yeah.
Well, what I wanted to say is that, all the games are kind of connected, but not very heavily. It's more like just they have this legend, and pretty much it's the legend in itself that kind of connects the games.
Yeah.
It's not like this event happened in this time in this game, and this other game came out, and it's connected to the previous one because it's this many years after or before or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like up to the player to interpret how each game fits in this lore made in the games. More than the game itself telling you where it's supposed to be and what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but they do love their, like, they just give you a little bit of like a hint of
oh yeah
like maybe this happened before this, or maybe this happened after this.
I mean, I think that the games that are the most like tightly connected, I guess, would be Ocarina of Time and Majora, which are, I mean, to me, are pretty evident.
Yeah,
I mean, you play Ocarina before I tell you anything, but
no, true.
Aside from that, obviously, Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass are, I think, immediately after Wind Waker.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But aside from that, they're all pretty up for interpretation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
go ahead, Twilight.
Well, you were gonna say something?
But so. When are we gonna get the game where you're Ganondorf and you have to fight Link and Zelda? I don't know, light over to the land and
Warriors.
I mean, technically, but
so, I mean,
like the main character was Ganondorf.
Again, it's a Warriors game. I don't take that one. I don't take seriously.
Definitely.
Wait, this is not the Hyrule Warriors episode. So.
Exactly.
I just also wanted to say, because Gabriel, you were saying earlier about how you thought that the Link in Wind Waker was different. Just a note, they technically say the same thing in almost every Legend of Zelda game, that you are unique and special, and you must be the Green Warrior of Legends and stuff.
Okay.
Actually, this is the only game in which Link has a sister. So, yeah,
that's the thing that I feel like again, it's just that there was a specific line of dialogue. I don't remember right now what it was, but they specifically say that this particular Link was kind of like he didn't have anything basically to do with the other ones. And I think that there was something about it that it was kind of like this Link kind of is now the Link of the Hero of Time because he was needed, because he was there more than he was the one that was gonna always be. Because I think that the flood or something kind of messed that up, like the whole system that they have for reincarnation or something. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know that this Link, they kind of imply that he's kind of like Well, I guess you will do more than like, yeah, you are the guy. You're the one that was always meant to be. But anyway, again, I don't know that much about the Silva lore, so I guess I don't know exactly what that means. Or as you were saying, it might just be the thing that they say to everybody, so they feel somehow special in some
It's an
way.
excuse.
I mean,
Yeah.
even in Twilight Princess, it's kind of like, well, I guess you're the hero now because it was really accidental too.
Oh yeah, I guess to an
It's
extent. Yeah.
it's kind of like that on a lot of the Zelda games. It's kind of like, well, we need a warrior of time, and hey, Link,
Yeah.
can you be it? You're dressed in green.
I mean, there's some that is more on the nose, but there are some that are basically like, yeah, I guess you're gonna be the one. So, but anyway, like this kind of deviating from the point a little bit. So before we, and I think just to end, the podcast because we're at that limit. Anyway, I just want you guys to say any last thoughts that you have about the game. We're gonna start with you, Amarylis.
Oh man, if to whoever's listening this, if you still haven't played it, please play it. And just again, this game will forever be timeless. It will never age. I don't care what people say. It's true. It doesn't age, and it is an absolute journey, literally. Not only it literally is a journey. You get on that boat and you're in a boat and you're on a journey. So it's a wonderful experience. It's magical. So if you haven't played it, please play it.
Definitely. I mean, if you haven't played it and you heard by these points, again, I don't know. Again, I guess you like being spoiled in that sense. But again, if you see us being super ecstatic about it, it may just made you understand that you should go check it out and play it even again if you played it a long time ago. But yeah, Efraín, you go next.
I mean, we haven't spoiled
that much. To be honest.
Sorry,
yeah.
So you're still gonna have plenty of surprises.
Yeah.
Definitely, whenever you get the chance, anybody should actually play it. Like I didn't regret playing this game. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's like Ama said, it's a wild ride. Just exploring. If you like, just if you like the sea, this is totally the game for you because you're gonna be there and just traveling. I don't know. It's just cool.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I can't say right now anything negative about it because it's really unique for me.
You're not saying anything negative.
No, I know. But just, I mean, it's for I know. But for the ones that are hearing, like like
that's why we love.
Like it was a cool journey and learning. There's some lore, but it's not like it's like there's some things that are consistent and some things that aren't. And it will give you, if it's your first Zelda game, it will give you that extra curiosity to actually play the other games and get in touch with your inner Link.
True that. Milton?
I'd say that this is one of the best adventure games I've ever played. In today's world of hyper complex games with microtransactions and a lot of different mechanisms to keep you hooked and stuff. This is a game that keeps you hooked on its premise alone. It's a great game with great mechanics. It's a simple game in a way, but everything comes together in a beautiful package. And it's in my top 3, man. It's an awesome adventure game, and it just makes you want to stay there and play, and you hum the songs when you're in the bathroom. Oh man, it's great.
Yeah.
It's just a great game.
No, yeah, we didn't even mention the songs at all.
I
The
know.
soundtrack is amazing for this game
Yeah,
as
the
well.
soundtrack is amazing.
I mean, Zelda games usually have amazing soundtracks. To be
Yeah.
honest, but yeah, this one was also is really really awesome. Yeah, again, to me, you haven't played any Zelda game. This is one that I will definitely recommend. If you've played other Zelda games, but think that this one is too shiny or bright or whatever, like do give it a shot. You won't regret it. It's really cool. Again, you just have to understand that this is the aesthetic. That's it. If you don't like it, then I guess you don't like it. But I feel like you're losing a little bit, by not playing this game. And as you were
It's okay.
saying,
We, if anything, they can all play like Skyward Sword. Like it's a 20 out of 10 would play again like Skyward Sword.
I mean,
Best Zelda game.
yeah, no, and to be fair, like there are many, like I think Zelda games actually have like they are so usually very different from one another. So you can get many different people that like very different aesthetics, into maybe playing them. So this is just one of those that I know that some people are kind of like, I don't like that because it looks too childish or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you're kind of losing, because you don't get to experience the game itself. But as you were saying, Efraín, like if you want an experience in the sea, and I feel like that's an experience that is not common, in games in general. I know that nowadays it might be more common. But to be fair, like it's a really solid experience, with actually being an explorer in the sea. So it is definitely a very unique game, even in the Zelda gallery, and I feel like everybody should play in that sense. And again, I'm for a non particularly Zelda fan. When I played it, it kind of blew me away. It was amazing. So yeah, again, I couldn't recommend it more. Is I believe right now still my favorite Zelda. I have to play more of the others as well. But for now, it's still my favorite. So yeah, again, I do believe that this game deserves the praise that it does, and people that kind of are against it for the graphics, I don't think they really have given it the chance it deserves. But anyway, that's just of course our opinion, and we obviously like the game. So we're here talking about it. So yeah, again, thank you to all of you for being part of this podcast, for being with me and talking about the game with me. Again, there are many things that we didn't mention, so we do hope that you either let us know in the comments stuff that you all do also love from the game. And yeah, the different things that happen in different islands that you found, and different awesome things that happen in that sense. But yeah, before we go, is there anything that you guys would like to plug? Milton, you first. Like, is there anything that you would like people to check out, maybe from Zelda or from something else?
No, I mean, I don't know if it would be shameful, but I released my first game not too long ago.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, you can say it.
So we released my company released Jaws.io for mobile, both iOS and Android. Yep. You can check it out. It's a free game, and you have a little time killer for when you're anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it kind of fits because we're talking about Wind Waker and water. So yeah. So yeah, again, that's perfect. Amarylis?
Like before, Amas Bebes is my store where I sell plushies, handmade plushies, and keychains and cell phone straps. I also do special commissions for plushies and also for drawings and any of the other things that I mentioned before. Yeah. You may access my social media through Instagram, Facebook, or email with @AmasBebes. Bebes is written BEHBES, just in case. And yeah, check me out.
Definitely do. And again, I'm gonna put the links in the description so you can just go there as well. But yeah, that's really awesome. Again, I do recommend.
speaking of the babies, Gabriel, you asked me for my car.
Yes, I did.
I wish we could show pictures of it. I don't know if you can.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could potentially again. Anyway, I'll let you know what happened with that. And she loved it. It's nothing bad. It's just that. Anyway, we'll talk later. But it's definitely photos are coming, or at least there's gonna be something. But it was amazing, and again, I do recommend checking Amas Bebes out. Again, I am itching for the next one. I'm just kind of still kind of
Soon.
yeah. And Efraín?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Facebook, MasterFunk9000. Also on Twitter at the MasterFunk, and I'm working with the girls at Major Tom Production on some video essays. So later this month, we're gonna be releasing our second part of Sex in Film, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. Thank you.
Yeah. That's awesome, and yeah, lately you've been a little bit viral with one of your drawings from Masterfunk, I believe.
I'm trying to find more ideas, but yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, so definitely check that stuff out as well. Anyway, for me, just to end, basically, Batú Games. You can check basically everything that we're doing on Facebook or Facebook mostly. But we also have other podcasts. There's a spot. Estamos aquí, Cast That, and all that stuff. We're gonna be doing, different stuff soon, and some things that we're gonna be premiering. We hope for the best because there's a lot of work to do for that. But anyway, you're gonna be seeing more of that soon. And yeah, again, there's also other Why We Love podcasts or episodes, so you can check those games out. And if there's any particular game that you would like us to cover, let us know in the comments as always. And yeah, again, play more games, play this game, play Wind Waker, play more Zelda games. Honestly, you won't lose your time if you play a game. So just do it. So anyway, thank you to all of you for listening. Thank you to all our patrons for letting us make this happen. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.